Peace and blessings, and welcome back to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. My name is Karev, and I'm here to bring to you not only the best in New Jersey hip hop, but to celebrate hip hop culture worldwide. In today's episode, we have one of my favorite MCs. It's someone very, very special that needs to be heard. His name is Ras Kass, a West Coast battle MC, legend, lyricist, and not only that, someone with a message who's always has something to say and needs to be heard. Before we get to this episode, first we must pay the bills. We are sponsored by Transparent Credit Repair, the superheroes of financial literacy in the financial credit world. If you're looking to fix your credit, please dial 862-250-5122 or go to transparentcreditrepair.com. Not only will they help you with your financial literacy and credit repair, they can also teach you certain things that help you have a financial upper hand in this world. So once again, that's 862-250-5122. And go on the website, www.transparentcreditrepair.com, and use the code HH1 for our promo. We are also brought to you by Fatty's Place, FADDYSPLACE. If you are looking for virtual assistants for your social media and to promote your brand, go on Instagram and hit Fatty's Place, FADDYSPLACE. We are also brought to you by Wildfire Marketing for promotion, placement, and ads done for yourself to build your brand. Please hit up at Firejaws on Instagram. That's FIREJAWS. And last but not least, we also brought to you by Diamonds Entertainment, the gentleman's side of hip hop, where we talk sports, fashion, and also music. Once again, thank you for tuning in to this episode, and let's get to it. Why waste time? Where has he been? What's going on with Ras Kass? And what's up with Soul on Ice 2? Are lyrics dead? There's the game coming back to lyricism. Let's find out. Peace.
Peace and blessings, everybody. This is Karev from Heritage Hip Hop. And every now and again, you get blessings. And I got a blessings to talk to one of my favorite MCs of all time. Please introduce yourself to the platform.
Yo, peace, everybody. This is Ras Kass.
Thank you for making this happen, and let's have some fun. I'll try my best to make this one of the best interviews you could ever have, so I'll watch some of your other ones, and I did not want to ask you some of the same questions, so let's have a little bit of fun and talk about lyricism today, all right?
Yeah, cool.
All right, so for everybody who does not know, they should just Google you. We don't got to go into that long history. But you are one of the most preeminent word writers and spitters in hip-hop history. What made you become so lyrical, and what made you want to deliver that message to people in your music?
Ah, man. I mean, you are, well, I think I'm just, I'm lucky enough to have when I actually started paying attention to like really, really soaking up rap music. I'm just around for a great era. So, the literally I got the NWAs with the Public Enemies, with the KRS Ones, with the Rakim, with the EPMD, with the Redman, with the Jay-Z, Tupac, Nas, like Pharaoh Monch, Organized Confusion. I lucked up and kind of, really got to be, but what a lot of us call a golden era. So I just, I had a lot of great influences, I think, and they inspired me.
That's peace, because you're a product of your time and your environment.
Yeah,
and
definitely, I think so.
I mean, when I talk to a lot of young cats today, they tell me their music in this era is garbage, and they like the 90s music better. And I used to work at a college, and I was one of those teachers that's really into our people. And when I played the classic The Nature of the Threat, I made so many people Ras Kass fans, they kept asking me for your music.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Oh, no doubt. What does it mean to have lyrics that not only capture the mind, but precede the times and become a legacy lyric than just song lyrics?
The song was so selfish. Like, I wrote it for me to try to get an understanding of what like a linear. I just was trying to get a linear idea of cause and effect with racism and history. So, I think subconsciously I thought, well, this is important. I would think my mother ended up saying that, and other people was like, this is important. I mean, for me, I just was trying to do something for me. So once it was recorded, I was hoping that it could be helpful to people, and the fact that it has been, that people can use it. It has been used at colleges and universities and high school history classes. It's a blessing. With that being said, I hope people continue to utilize it for that. I initially I hadn't thought that far ahead, to be honest.
Yeah, you know what's deep about that? Inspiration comes to those who connect themselves to a spiritual higher understanding, and then as the spirit moves, people get touched by it. I was in high school when that song came out, and people in my class actually wrote papers based on your song.
That's a blessing. I've heard that happen and continues to happen, and but I've met people that said, man, like, I did my report and got in college and in high school and got an A on it, with that record. I was like, wow, that's a blessing, man.
Yeah. I mean, we come from a time when there's a lot of prejudice in hip hop back in the '90s, and then this interview's not going to stay here, but in the '90s, I'm from New Jersey, okay, so New Jersey has its own history with hip hop that's different from New York hip hop, but we all got lumped into the East Coast West Coast thing, right?
Right.
And early in the game, it was this preconceived thought that West Coast MCs could not be lyrical, or West Coast MCs only had the whiny horn in the beat, or West Coast MCs were just had slow music. It was refreshing to hear you and to say, Ice Cube is not the only guy. There was Ras Kass, there was Exhibit, there's Catastrophe. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was people who were just so goddamn nice that you had to respect the growth of it. When it comes to being your own lyricist, were you inspired by any like other poets or other people who were not only just great orators but writers as well?
Yeah, man, because I was reading a lot of books anyway. So I always say, for me, I didn't have any brothers. I just had older sisters, so I didn't socialize with them, and I happened to be from a time when, if you didn't have HBO, the regular, channel 2 and channel 4 and channel 11, they turned the fuzz after a certain time. Like, I remember TV just was static. So, when it was time to go to bed and I had to go to my room, I didn't have any other means to do something. I had nothing else to do. I had to read. It was, I had to be quiet anyway. And there was fuzz on the TV, so I would read books, and they vary between dinosaur books and tigers and lions and comic books and encyclopedias and just books. And for me, that it gave me a well-rounded idea of literature. I'm a super Marvel boy. I'm a super comic book dude. I've always had those references. I've always had, I've always had references about history because I read about it. You know, So Nice was a book. You know, I referenced the book from my first album. I do other references. I've done a Mice and Men on So Nice. You know, I just kind of take inspiration from life, because life is, you know, it's either horribly sad and cruel, or there's these things that are jewels, and you know, I get inspired, and I try to place the jewel back in the music.
Word. It's funny that you say that you like comic books, because you, in my understanding of your music, you reminded me of one of my favorite comic book characters, which is crazy that you brought that up. My favorite comic book character, one of them when I was younger, was Icon. Are you familiar with Icon?
No, not yet.
Okay, so Icon came from Milestone Comics, which was made by Dwayne McDuffie. This is another part of Heritage Hip Hop's called Blurred Hop, where we talk about comics and anime, right? Which is funny you brought this up. So Icon was from the Dwayne McDuffie thing, Milestone Comics, that had Static Shock and the Blood Syndicate and things like that, right? And the story, oh, okay, yeah, because they had a cartoon. Wow. So the story of Icon was basically the Superman story, but the baby was rescued by a slave, and the baby grew up into, like, from all the eras to the 90s, where some children broke into his house, and he had to basically, like, stop them, but he was reprimanded by a girl who was in the group of people who was robbing his house. To not go too deep into it, but to keep it to this conversation, Icon was an intergalactic lawyer who had to fight on the behalf of Earth through his life experiences, and use the spoken word to not only give about the experience of being a slave, but why humanity can be saved through its hardships.
Wow.
You reminded me of Icon in a couple of your songs. And that's why I have an appreciation for Ras Kass music, because you got deep lyrics, but you slick mouth like a motherfucker, too. Like, for instance, one's for the money, two's for the show, three's for the ladies, but all they wanted was one. I mean, people saying that. And it's a hook. Anything goes. Shout out to you for the classic.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you bringing that up, I wanted to ask you, as your career progressed, because you have a skit on one of your albums, I believe it's the end of Bardom. No, it's not Bardom. One of your skits, or interview you did, you talked about you having a son, and he's listening to you, and he's seeing, like, yo, you nice, and you like, yeah, I'm nicer now than I was back then, so you got to appreciate the growth.
Right.
How has hip hop changed over the years and made you better than you being a rapper who just raps and not elevating his game with the game?
Well, I always say this, and this is not to take away from anybody else, but my career path was just, I had to go through getting blackballed. I don't know whether it was intentional or not to have, I worked with Dr. Dre. Like, the person right before me and the person after me became superstars, Eminem and, everything else, Aftermath and all that. So I always felt like, with Capitol Records, Priority Records, I basically was, I had a company that failed to promote my music and then tied me up in litigation for 10 years, from 2002 to about 2012. So yeah, I've just had a different journey than a lot of these artists. And it just forced me. I always compare it to being, black in America. You have to work 2 times as hard to get half the result. And so I felt like in hip hop, period, I've had to do that. Where help create the foundation for the Kendricks and the Eminems and the Royces and the Games and then all my peers, the Pharaohs and the Qualis and the Mos Defs and the the Black Thoughts. Everybody kind of got, to the next, graduated and got to that point where, they're sitting on, a good 5-10 million in the bank. I just didn't get that opportunity. I had a foundation that I was literally, swimming in quicksand for the past 14 years. So, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I say that it was the necessity to just survive has made me hungrier and harder working. You know, do I want that forever? No, but I do acknowledge it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to, because it's part of the American story of being a overachiever to the masses of people who come from nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, it seems like you and Lupe kind of almost got the same story. It seemed like, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, I know one thing.
They had a couple of hits. You know, it seemed like before they pulled. You know, I don't know. You know, his story. You know, the backstory of it. You know, the intricacies of it. But you know, he actually had a foundation of some success. I feel like they. You know, I have worked with being voted most likely to succeed to the school trying to, you know.
Trying to get them, push you under the rug.
Yeah.
I feel that. Because, I mean, we had to wait how many years for the Golden Child project, and it was a great project. You know?
You know, we always try, man. I mean, I will always say, I will always give 110%, and I'm always blessed by the people the peers, you know, the other artists that are, you know, I'd have to even give them more than just peers. I would say people that believe in what I do and are willing to give me 110% and assist me in trying to make those visions happen, you know. So, you know, every producer and every artist and every, you know, vocalist and every engineer and every, you know, like people have helped me realize, you know, these ideas and these goals. And, you know, the whole point is to, you know, obviously, again, to get us to the level of awareness that people, you know, because I feel like, you know, if you like, you know, no disrespect to anybody, if you like Nas, Jay-Z, fill in the blank. If you like any of these people, you should love Ras Kass. So what is the difference? So, you know, I can literally name, there's no, you know, no disrespect. You can literally name your top 20 people, and there's no reason why you wouldn't enjoy what I do too when it's just as good and or better.
Yeah, see, I agree with that. But the perception of the hip hop genre, especially with the mainstream takeover, is if you're a lyricist or too lyrical, the people don't really want to hear you. And Master Killer said it best: the deaf and dumb are intrigued by the drums. Everybody nodding their head, but they're not listening to the lyrics to catch the intricacies of what's being said, how it's being said, the delivery, and the rhyme patterns.
Right.
So then, I'm going to ask you this, because everybody I ever interview at Heritage Hip Hop ask them about performing. Being someone that's very lyrical, is it harder to perform where some people may not catch the words, or do you actually see them catch the words and it makes that flower bloom right in front of your eyes when you perform?
I tend to watch that, man. Honestly, I just tend to watch people hear it and say, oh, wow, I just caught that for the first time. Like, I'm familiar, but I never caught it. You know, or to pull, you know, to deconstruct the track and, you know, either do that verse again or acapella that part or whatever it is. I think, you know, it's all part of the appreciation process. So for me, performing it becomes a lot more of another way to reach those same people that may not have caught it, and it reaches newer people. 9 times out of 10, people that have never heard of me, or the blessing is that male and or female comes up and says, "Wow, that was dope. I just never heard of you. You're better than blah blah blah." Like, that's really good. So, you know, that's a blessing in and of itself. I just was writing something, man, that you know, because I don't want to come off as complaining or, you know, whiny. I try to acknowledge things, the elephants in the room, and you know, or the system as the system is, and And then, you know, the next goal is to, you know, how do I solve it? How do I make it work for me? But I did write, it's a record for a friend, a producer, my homeboy Nass, a New York producer. But, I wrote something to the effect of, you know, we like recognition from the same people that are trying to kill us.
Yeah, that's true. Your peers.
Well, not even our peers, just the Grammys. The lady just came out. You know, of course, she pulled the, you know, she told all the truth because she's getting fired. You know, she's getting fucked over too, the white lady. But she's like, this shit racist. This shit, you know, it's rigged. We knew that. We couldn't prove it. But then when the exec, and they're trying to bury that too. But of course, he said it's racist and it's this and it's controlled by certain people that they're self-dealing. I think that was the term she said. You know, it's self-dealing. Like, yeah, this is my artist, and vote for my homie. You know, vote for my little nigga, or don't, because we don't. You know, I'd rather have the white person win. Meghan Trainor is gonna win. Why would we vote for this black person when we can get a white guy or gal that can kind of imitate the same thing at this point? So we know what this shit is. It's rigged, and then we getting still. You know, we run around and we put those same people on a pedestal just because they coon. You know, no disrespect. Yeah. Actually, yes, some disrespect. Half of them coon to get in that position to be on those stages and get those awards. They probably didn't do nothing that was in our best interest to get that award, because the awards and none of the shit was built for our best interest. So why do we make them somebody better or more special when they probably did shit to sell us out to get there in the first place?
I'm a come with you on that journey in a different way. I feel award shows to me are very lame. I mean, in my personal opinion, like I'm a man of faith, so I believe in God. I read the Bible and things like that. And I always had a funny feeling in my stomach when I hear the gospel awards. Because how do you give an award to somebody who praises God better in the public opinion if it's not for you in the first place? So even when you think about the Grammys and things, hip hop was, who gives a fuck about a goddamn Grammy? Now it's like, I got this award, thank you. And I'm like, what are we really celebrating? To spin that back to you as an artist, I always say to artists on my platform, because I talk to a lot of independent artists that are coming up, I ask them, how important do you think your pen is? And, you know, because some people like, I just go in the studio and I just bang something out in 5 minutes. I'm not even writing. I'm just feeling the beat. And I'm like, okay, that can be a talent. But your words are the statement that'll make you live throughout history. And you even have a book of your lyrics out right now, so people may not hear it, but they can read it and feel the eloquency of your words. How has the pen saved your life, and how has the pen moved your life forward in a better way?
Right. You said, how has the pen moved my life forward? For me, well, this is therapy for me, man. If I didn't do this, I probably would have been freaked out and did some other shit, some violent shit. So I've you know, this is definitely my therapy. It's helped me realize who I am, and I happen to have I think I work towards it. I think any gift that you have to, you know, you have to hone it, perfect it. You know, I've given my 10,000 hours, you know, at least 5 times over at my craft. You know, for me, it you know, it's helped me communicate sometimes with people. I mean, I've been told, and I believe it, that, you know, to be such a word person, I don't communicate well, you know, in relationships, and probably with family and probably in romantic shit. So it probably has helped me communicate, especially even earlier on with my sons. Like, I think they learned how to understand me, you know, through the music. You know, that was, I used to just say, look, bro, like, if you know, I got twin sons, Rev and Taj. You know, how you can just say, like, look, dude, if you want to figure me out, bro, just, I've been writing to y'all niggas. The first album I was writing to myself, and then y'all niggas popped on the screen, so I've been kind of writing to y'all ever since. And they get it, you know, and it took a long, you know, quite a while, but, you know, it's ironic that, and which is kind of funny because they're pretty much just at Ras Kass Nation. They haven't even got to when it gets all really, really bad. So it's kind of funny, like, they're like, oh shit, nigga, like, you are something else. You're an ill nigga, and you sick. And you're talking to me. I hear it now. And I'm like, yeah, I'm talking to you. And that's crazy. Like that, you know, my future, they just on my, you know, they're only in 98. We got 20 years. They got 20 more years of me talking to them for them to, you know, and they're not kids, so they finally got to an age where they can understand some of the things that I was going through, you know, at their age.
Word. Okay, so I want to even take what you said, not the fatherhood part, but even the expression. I heard you say that New York State of Mind by Nas is one of the few perfect hip hop records ever made.
Yeah.
Okay. Now me, I'm a person who listens to music, listens to bars. I count bars. I even listen to lyrics, and sometimes I get dramatic pictures from things that I see. See, hip hop is full of imposters to me. I say hip hop has few artists but lots of participants. Because a lot of people will put the words together, but not too many people are eloquently putting poems and word pictures together. What is the perfect song Ras Kass made, and how do you define it?
Oh man, I've written a few. There's a lot in the first album, to be perfectly honest. There's a song, I have sporadic ones. I mean, there's usually something that stands out that I'm just like, wow, I wrote the shit out of that. Solo Nights 2, I have a couple that I think I just, for where I was at as a human to express what I was trying to express. It might have been angst, it might have been confusion. At some point, you know, even in some of those records, sometimes there's a point where I'm like, it's getting a little too, the movie's getting too depressing. Let's change the interpretation and do something sarcastic or make a joke here, or let's just get it back on some grab your dick, b-boy, bravado shit. So it's just like kind of, a lot of times it's, what journey am I taking a person on, even if it's personal or interpersonal, because I'm sharing it, where it's not fully depressed. I wrote a song called "Is This Love." I was going through shit with, a few people who I felt had betrayed me. I wrote that on the Van Gogh album, which I think is a really dope record. I wrote a song called "Right Where I Left Off," where I just do homonyms, and I just literally, the bounce on that record, how I wrote it, flow wise, I think is crazy. Like I said, Ras Kass has quite a few. I think "The End" with me and RZA,
classic,
and it's based on real shit. Like, I wrote it in parables, but my E code 1 out of 12, I got arrested. First she protested, but on the 7th day he rested. Like, all that shit. Like, and sometimes it's super parabled out, but it's literally some real shit that happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I'm writing these things that are just pure truth, whatever that truth is. Like I said, it can be happy, it can be braggadocio, it can be street shit, it can be, love, hate, anger, confusion, you know, pity, sadness, just the human. What I try to do, which most artists don't, I would say rappers, is that I've always tried to deal with the human gamut. Most people pick a thing who they are, and that's no disrespect. So I'm the 5% rapper. I'm the trap rapper. I'm the player. I'm the pimp. I sell dope. I'm the Crip. I'm the Blood. You know, I'm the party guy. I'm none of those, but all of them is what I try to kind of cover. I'm confused. I'm sad. I'm in love. I hate. I want money, but I understand that it's just a vessel and a vehicle. I care for the homeless person. I want all the money. I want to fuck all the bitches. I want a real relationship one day and just to have a, monogamous, like I deal with the human experience, which I thought would be a plus, but it's very hard to market that as a box because that's what white people tend to do with black people music, that we have to be some kind of a box. And I check all the boxes, but I don't check enough of each box. And so what I thought would be my strength was my honesty has become my bane.
Okay. Well, then let's pull some of that back, because one of my favorite albums from you that I think a lot of people miss was Blasphemy. I think you were the
Blasphemy too. Some great stories. I went to stories on that one. I hadn't written stories in a while, and there's a couple of really good stories on Blasphemy.
Yeah, I mean, Deliver Us from Evil. I mean, you want to go into detail a little bit about that for those who are going to hear this and may have missed it?
I mean, Deliver Us from Evil is, I just the whole that whole project is first of all, Blasphemy. The core 30-40% of Blasphemy I wrote in 2004 or 5.
Okay.
Yeah, that was gonna be when I still thought I would finish my my contract with Priority Records. So Blasphemy is gonna be. I told Exhibit that that was gonna be my last album, my 5th album. So I never got Van Gogh out and get Golden Shout out, but at the time I thought, I'm finished. Eventually I'll get the 3rd album out, the 4th album, because I'd gotten to go Ras Kass and Solo Night. So I figured 2 more, and then I'll do it would have been called, technically it wasn't Blasphemy, it was How to Kill God. It was the name of the album, and then I'd be done. And I figured I could say what I really felt. Hopefully by then I be in a position in my career where I go out with a bang and say what the fuck I really thought, and then be fiscally in a good position. It didn't work out that way. So anyway, I sat on the concept and I wrote about 4 or 5 of the records then, and then I just completely forgot about it just because the world's not ready for me. It's true.
I respect that.
I mean, these people run around and act like what these niggas do is brain surgery. They do. These niggas act like what these other rap niggas do is something super, super deep, and it's not. And so and meanwhile, even on Solo Nights 2, I just rhymed a 4/4 and 3/4 times. I outdo these niggas, without even trying with old ideas, but I don't get the support and the awareness. I can get the so-called hip-hop radio stations to support this shit, for the creativity. This shit groupied out. So, I just, I keep making, niggas keep overlooking it and sleeping, and then claiming that this, whoever the fuck, dude X is hot shit. And I'm just like, okay, I don't get it. Nowadays, rap really fast, and that's supposed to be like bars. And I'm like, okay, man, all right.
And it's not. I hate that style. I mean, I can't front. It's good for a vibe, and if you can use it, that's cool. Personally, I think Yeah, it's just not for me. I just put it like that. I want to kill somebody's way of supporting their family. I'm just gonna say it's just not for me.
I think patterns are patterns, but Busta Rhymes had patterns, and Fushnikers, and even fucking Jay-Z and Jaz-O did that. I mean, we do it, but I mean, as if that's the one trick pony, I'm like, wow, for real. So this is what we going for the best now. Like, it's just cornball, man. And so,
well, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll bring it to a close. With that being said, it's just we were talking about blasphemy, and so yeah, as when Apollo started sending me records, I was writing, but basically, thank God I didn't lose that notebook. I've lost a couple of notebooks of like records that I wish I still had, but I had the notebook, pulled it out. Recorded them. They said it was just meant to be. I waited for the right time to pull that out. And Deliverance from Evil was that's actually one that I wrote in real time. But those records just spoke to me. It was probably one of the easiest albums I ever did for whatever reason. That was like what I was. I mean, it happens to me often. What I'm writing is just what's supposed to happen. Sometimes I feel like all these things are already in here, so then they just leak out when they're supposed to. So honestly, that album, it just leaked out, and then I already had, like I said, 30-40% of it already written. The most important shit, the title record, all that shit. Yeah.
Okay. I was talking to a producer out here because I don't know if you know, you have a nice fan base in New Jersey. I remember when you came out to the Art of, huh?
I need to get back out there.
Yeah, I remember when you came out to the Art of Rap show at NJ Pack. People went kind of crazy in the back where I was at.
Yeah, man, I wanted to, I wish I could have rocked, but it was great to be there. That was rest in peace, Pride had just passed, but it was just amazing to be there in Jersey and, just seeing that love and being able to, be morally supportive.
Yeah, we have a producer out here, Stan Ipkiss, right? So I was telling him, like, yeah, I'm about to interview Ras Kass, bro. I'm kind of nervous. This is one of my favorite MCs, and he was like, put some of his stuff on. And we kind of heard it. We was listening to Soul on Ice, and we was vibing it. And then there's a track. There's a Soul on Ice, a Rat Assassination. I'm kind of lost right now. Well, he was like, I'm a lyricist. I don't give a fuck about a beat. And his eyebrow rose, and he said, tell Ras Kass come see me.
Yeah.
You got a producer that wants to challenge you. Bars versus beats. He said, yo.
That's actually a play on a Snoop thing. That skit.
Yeah.
From Ras Assassination, and it was basically when Snoop had left Death Row and he was working with Master P. And somebody said the same thing to him, and so there's like, yeah. It literally, I did the skit and just, personalized it. But that's part of like my super personality. So that was my homeboy Curtis. He was like, oh, the beat's gonna be delicate, because that's what Snoop said. I literally redo the Snoop thing. Beats delicate. Is that what makes Snoop Dogg now? I don't give a fuck about it, beat. That's why we start laughing. And it was a way for me to, and he had literally just did it like, whatever, probably 8 months before. So I literally clipped his skit just because I thought it was so funny, and because I'm a lyrical nigga, he's the gangster nigga, and he's like, Dre, beats, delicate. Like, you ain't got Dre no more, your beat's gonna be delicate. And then he goes and says his righteous indignation. And so I bit that from Snoopy. And then we laughed, and the reason why actually he had the last laugh on that. I'm gonna actually complete that thought. So I did kind of what would be considered more of a West Coast beat right after that skit. Dun 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 dun. And that was kind of part of why I wanted to do it, was just to show, like, I'm a West Coast dude. I can rap over this shit too. I'm still gonna bar out on it. But it's just not my cup of tea. But I can rhyme over anything I want to. So that was part of me setting it up with that skit to give it some levity before I went into the record. And ironically, Snoop would come back and say, "That shit hard. I love that record." I'm like, "Good looking. I'm glad you like it." And then the funny shit is, like 2-3 years later, he would redo it, same. You know, I don't own the sample. I don't own the original record. He did it with the East Siders, and they just had Battle Cat replay it and did the record, and then the shit blew up.
Yeah, amazing, right?
Well,
But
I always know that I have good ideas. If you're telling me how a rhyme don't work, then I'm like, well, what about Eminem and Royce and, you know, and Kendrick? So, you know, they used to tell me, yeah, you just too complicated. Your shit don't work. And I'm like, well, that can't be true because look at that guy. He just did it, and it's kind of my thing. But, you know, what I find is people will always tell you what you did wrong instead of looking at outside or looking at themselves. So my company was telling me what was wrong with me.
mm-hmm.
But, you know, they did the same thing to Jay-Z. Then he left and went and sold, 4 million records. So I just understand that people are stupid as fuck. And I just, you know, I have to find the right team and the right, you know, machine to get me to where I need to go. I'm putting that in the universe now. Like, fuck it. If your man got the right beats, maybe that's part of what my team needs. So I'm always open for improvement.
Well, we'll talk about that off the interview. We want to get out of the way.
No doubt.
So to continue on to the career of Ras Kass, it's funny that you brought up your beats because another person I talked to, his name is Lex. Salute to him because he's going to hear this and go crazy. He always said, ask Ras Kass this, because I really was puzzled. When the West Coast blew up and went heavy on their own beats, he had a lot of boom bap bassy beats. Why did he do that? How do you pick your beats, and what's your style of music?
That's a good question. I don't have any particular. I mean, I like music all around. I like everything from fuck the police to fucking, you know, Prince. And so for me, I try to find the theme music to what I'm trying to write. Wait, hold on one sec. I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm back. Yeah, so like I was saying, I try to find the theme music to. I look at albums and I look at songs like a movie, and so if there's scenes in a movie, if the part is romantic, you want the romantic music. If the person's getting wedding, what kind of music would you hear? When walking down the aisle, if the shit is suspense, what kind of music do you hear? I understand that people have their preferences, whether that's boom bap, whether that's trap records, whether that's, West Coast G-Funk records, whether, whatever. People are kind of trained in beats first, and I'm not. I'm trained in bars, and that's my preference. I care about what you're saying 9 times out of 10 more than the beat, but it's about 55, 45. I want that beat to accent what you're talking about. So like Love's Gonna Get You, incredible record. It's just the right sample with the right story. With a message. But it's still a story really on some, it's just when those marriages happen is what I'm more into, where a lot of this music you can replace the beat, or you can put any rap over that same beat and it would just be the same song.
True.
Because it's not being created and themed, for this experience, which is just what I enjoy more. But people like, I'm going to a trap club, I want to hear trap beats, and so most of the beats are going to sound the same. And sometimes, a lot of times, just on the even on some boom bap shit, that's the same thing. I just want these kind of want them to sound like DJ Premier beats, and I want this tempo, and so nigga can be talking about anything, just as long as those beats sound the same. And
you know, they're in the same vein. Unfortunately for me, I am counterintuitive to marketing towards a specific segment. And so I've never really picked my music based on a specific segment of people. I'm trying to make music for people, not for an experience. Like, oh, have you ever been confused? You ever wanted to give retaliation? You ever been in prison? You ever try to kill a nigga? You ever been shot at? You ever fucking, you know, broke your mom's heart and feel bad about that? You ever, you know what I'm saying? Do you want to get $1 million and help your homies and your mom? Do you want that Bentley? Would you sell your ass for it? Say no. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever these different things that I'm trying to talk about, I'm trying to speak to people in a different vibration, and they're wired just for a beat. And so a lot of people would complain about my production, and I can understand that if that's what you're wired to. I usually have a big problem with even using one producer because 9 times out of 10, there would be something that I wanted to say or something that I felt that producer didn't have that kind of production to help me tell the story the way I wanted to tell it, to create that theme, to create that commercial, to create that scene in the movie. Because his strength might be this. You know, maybe this particular idea needed a sample, and I wanted to use this particular sample in the track, and this person only plays live music, or the reverse. This person only do samples, but I need to play something that feels like Interview with the Vampire. We made that record from scratch. I wrote the record first. And then I just hummed out a melody, and the producer sat there with me, and literally as I was humming this melody and kind of saying the rhyme, he built the record around it. One of the best times that, I wrote Nature the Threat first, and then we just kind of made a beat. It wasn't my favorite beat. I just needed something that could keep your attention long enough to do a 7-minute fucking rap. So I knew it had to change twice because it was just going to be too long for one beat. Did I love that beat? No. At the time, did I have a friend? I should have probably went to Battlecat and said, I'm going to need you to play 2 different things. And I'm going to need these kind of drums. I didn't. But in the case of, like I said, Interview with the Vampire, I was able to have somebody that could give me the feel. I wanted the shit to be haunting. There's literally even just where we 16th noted, there's like a harmony in it, like a little haunting harmony, and we shifted it. It's the same key as the chords, but we shifted so it creates this feel, and I enjoy that of creating, is it the club hit fucking radio record of the time? No, but that wasn't what it was written for.
Word. I respect that. I think you need to get with Stan. And I got a project for you to listen to, but still coming off of that though. You remind me of somebody that is like you are like the focal point of change, and then people change and then forget where they come from. That's what I feel. Do you remember in the late 90s, early 2000s, we started getting a lot of hip-hop prophecies that real hip-hop is going to go underground and the mainstream is going to kill hip-hop? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Okay, so were you a gamer in the 90s and 2000s?
Yeah, I did. I gamed, yeah.
All right, so one of my favorite games was the Mark Echo game for PlayStation 2. You remember that?
I never had that. That's interesting.
All right, so check this out. Mark Echo had a game called Get Up, right? And the game was basically about a dude who was a tagger. He used to put graffiti on the walls and stuff, right? Come to find out, his dad was a political guy who was killed by the government, and he was using his graffiti to change the world and make the underground knowledgeable about the mainstream and the government. You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite PlayStation games, right? And the reason why I bring that up with you is because of this. That game reflected a quote from Nina Simone that said, it's an artist's job to an opportunity to make music that reflects the time that we're in. In today's society, we're living in a time where Donald Trump is the president. We're living in a time where the conscience era of black political and economic thought is starting to rise higher than the need of the school system. And we also got to a point where hip-hop is the leading voice of the world, yet is just as gentrified as every other genre being played. Where does Ras Kass find himself in today's America and today's musical climate?
Pushed out.
Mm.
I've been pushed out. I understand that. I'm pushed out of America. I'm pushed out of the music, and then the few that get in, it becomes this very, honestly, there's a few white boys that got them a few niggas, and those niggas are the blessed niggas that got it, that have a job, and they get political too, so they don't know you either because you're not you're not socially like one of the guys that when they go into the meeting that they're saying that guy's on the up and coming,
Mm-hmm.
So they don't want to because white guys already told them that you won't be around next year.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been pushed out. I mean, I get it. I got the memo. I got that memo a long time ago. I mean, I'm not gonna listen to them. This is still my passion. This is still what I do for a living. I'm still better than them, than most of them, and my goal is to always work hard and be even better. So I have room for improvement. And end of the day, I enjoy what I do. I may not get the same opportunities or fair shake like the other people got, but I didn't really sign on for that reason anyway. So it's unfortunate for me, and I hope things change for me, and I'm trying to make those things change. But I didn't do it for a whole bunch of white people at the Grammys and some side niggers to tell me I'm good at it. I know I'm good at it.
Well, we as Heritage Hip Hop will always support you because, as you see, I could quote some of the damn songs in the album. So you always have a place. You ever come back to Jersey, man? Hey, we could hook up when we'll just kick it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm down for it, brother. Let's do it.
All right, so let's close up because I think we gave the people enough about the mind of Ras Kass and what it is to be a lyrical beast. You know what I'm saying? Oh, by the way, Bartum is my shit. Just want to let you know. That's my shit.
One of my favorites, man.
Yeah, you and KRS-One, that has to be like for a hip hop head, that has to be like a dream track.
Yeah, he gunned down, and my man, like I just really love how that record, just production wise, came together. I think it came out really dope.
Okay, well. Usually, at the end of Heritage Hip Hop interviews, I ask a bunch of rapid fire questions. I want to do the same for you. They're not yes/no questions, and I tell all the artists, I don't give a fuck who you want to fuck, or what your favorite color is, or what you like to eat. I'll really talk about the culture and your legacy. So I want to do that with you, if you don't mind. Okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So for the people who follow Heritage Hip Hop, we have a talk show. It's like The View, but it's called the Mic Council. All right. And on that show, we have an upcoming episode that's being taped soon called Defining Greatness, Kobe Bryant versus Eminem. And in that, we're talking about how do you define greatness and what is greatness? Can you define greatness in your own words and what makes you one of the greats?
Ah, man, that's tricky. See, the problem with rap is that it's all right. Basketball, like we're all entertainment, but MMA, track and field, boxing, basketball, you get to prove it because especially let's just simplify it. MMA, 2 men walk in, 1 man walks out. This rap shit ain't the same as that. It's all these other fucking peanut gallery opinions that get to determine who's great. That's the problem with rap, is that it gets too subjective, and it ain't subjective if we talk about a skill set, but it is subjective if we talk about who sells the most or who. Bro, I just watched the Super Bowl. Post Malone got 2 Budweiser commercials. Why him?
Yeah, You know how, but yeah.
I'm just saying. So, you know, the Trey Songz or the whoever else is, like, you understand the fix is in. So he's greater than them? He's greater than all these other people before him, or is it because of what he looks like? And so it's a double-edged sword that, you know, you say it and then they try to turn you into the man. It's like, you know, I hate to have to be the one to say it, but they the ones that's doing it. You know what I mean? They're the ones that are culturally appropriating and then breading out the white boy and the white girl for being half as good as the niggas that do it. You know, it's fixed. And they're getting the awards and they're getting the jobs and they're getting the voiceovers and they're getting you know, they stole the boy bands from us. You know, they stole the girl bands from us. And now they stealing the rappers from us. We don't have anything again. And you know, what do you do there when these niggas are so, you know, they at the same, you know, clapping and shucking and jiving because they want in too, because at least they close to the ones getting the bag. So, I mean, fuck. I can define greatness as, because I don't know who's great, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I know some great MCs. You know, I don't think that, you know, if you write your own rhymes and you've written records that have impacted me, from Redman to you know, again, Pharoah Monch and Nas and Biggie and Tupac and Ice Cube and Twista and you know, everybody in you know, and Griselda and Eminem and, you know, but and Kendrick and J. Cole and, you know, whatever. Like, niggas is dope. It's a lot of great MCs. Do some people deserve as much hoopla as they get?
No.
I don't necessarily think so, but, you know, who am I to pick who gets the hoopla? I just wish the hoopla was split fairly amongst people of color too. That's what I would say.
Okay, I respect that, and we're going to use that. I think I might use that as part of the show, which you approve. That's a good line. Another episode we did of the Mike Council was called Timeless Music versus Classic Music. How do you define the two?
I mean, unfortunately for me, I think they're the same, to be perfectly honest. I mean, because anything timeless to me is going to be classic. I mean, when I listen to what's going on, it's a timeless record. That shit is applicable today. Brenda's Got a Baby. It's as applicable today. But actually, okay, some things classic may not be timeless. It may be just for that era. So I can qualify a little bit better. Some things are timeless and they stand the test of time, even production value wise, even subject matter. You know, that's why when, you know, of what's going on, that condition of what our people have been going through in this country, you probably could have made it when, you know, when the motherfucking Plymouth Rock, nigga, the Mayflower. So, you know, it's just that experience of fuckery and that pain and all that. So yeah, I would say the difference between timeless music is the ability that it will resonate. When you talk about love and you're talking about social injustice and you're talking about poverty, those are things that probably will stand the test of time because there's always somebody getting fucked in society. Some things are classic because it's dope, and you know, I can hear the funk, Machine Gun Funk by Biggie, and I remember that production style, you know, Taking a Filter, you know, and it's a classic record and unbelievable. I never heard somebody, you know, how Premier took the chop and then scratched the R. Kelly, you know, it's a classic record, production style, make sound dated, you know what I'm saying? But that's hip hop in a whole. If you're a student of it, I can 9 times out of 10 I can tell you. Just like, I mean, we know when New Jack Swing, when those records come in, because they go boom 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 boom. Everybody uses the same break beat in that sample, so you know. So when you hear the Guy records or the, you know what I'm saying, or whoever, fucking Rex and Effects, you hear that sample and you're like, oh, that era. So, you know, those things, it's still classic music, but it is dated. It's dated by the production era.
Okay. Being that you are a product of that era where the 90s was in full swing and you were there, Tupac and Big were are the two most pivotal figures because of tragedy in hip-hop from that era. How did both affect you as a writer and as a performer?
Let's see. Honestly, you know, that's a tricky question for me. I wasn't a factor, but I was around. I was becoming a factor. I had relationships with Pac's crew, period. From Thug Life all the way to Money Beat being like a big brother to me, he still is. So I was
Shout out to him.
Yeah, definitely. I was always observant, you know, literally 2 steps away watching Tupac's journey. Always watching it, being a fan. I understood how much they were friends. I heard Biggie's album before he went back and changed Ready to Die, because I happened to be in the industry. I was an industry kid. I was bubbling. I was about to possibly get a record deal, and you know that's what would happen. You get people's demos and get their albums, advanced cassette tapes. So I had Ready to Die. I know it sounded different. I know Biggie dressed different. So for me, I see how much Pac influenced Biggie, and vice versa. I think Biggie's, I've always said this, I think Pac was passionate. Biggie was a lyricist. Biggie kind of, and with Puffy, I would have to, he'd have to have been the incentive to restructure that album to start rapping over fucking Entombed samples. That wasn't a New York thing in 1994 or whatever that year that was. That was a very West Coast approach. And, Nas was supposed to be the guy to take it from the West, and Biggie designed an album that was truly an East Coast album, but with the bright speckles of production of what was predominant production at the time, which was West Coast records. And that's why when you said that stupid whistle horn, but that's what's on, should be having my baby, Biggie's More Chance. So they were doing it. Some New York niggas took the stupid whistle and sold 1 million records off of it, by emulating what was the current acceptable, digestible, radio-friendly sound. I call it the Borg, like Star Trek. They Borg.
The assimilation process.
Yeah, they assimilated successfully without it being uncomfortable. He was the right nigga, and Biggie was hanging with Pac, and so that Biggie wasn't Coogee and he wasn't wearing fucking Versace shirts before that. So I see them as like, unfortunately, 2 niggas that really, really vibed off each other, and other ulterior factors pulling together. Probably two people that really gained a lot from each other, and was their undoing, and actually led to their deaths.
Well, to come off of that somber note, you did the Wu-Tang Clan Think Differently project, which was a great couple songs I've heard off their projects. And Wu-Tang Clan actually changed the game with the group. Well, they changed the game with the group dynamic, and you've been linked to 2 actual groups / crews. Do you think Ras Kass in a group is the one thing that hip hop missed and didn't get, that they don't know was a gem?
I wish we are pre-Slaughterhouse, so that's what, Horseman was. And Golden State was probably West Side Connection before West Side Connection. So, we the lyrical West Side Connection, or the hip hop
you know, the more hip hop West Side
Mm-hmm.
Connection. Because Q is lyrical and Dub C is lyrical. But yeah, I mean, you know, all I can say is we've had, you know, there's been times, you know, timing is everything. You know, what do they say? Success is preparation plus opportunity. We were prepared, and we had opportunity. Well, maybe we weren't completely prepared because people, you know, for one reason or another, fell apart. But I always look at those things and say, well, we had a great idea because look at what it did for Slaughterhouse, or look at how this worked out. So, you know, I wish, I wish there was, I could, you know, go into a different reality and make those things so, because I think they would have paid dividends. The strength in numbers, I always say that. You know, I always tell anybody that no matter what they're doing, it's strength in numbers. If you're walking by yourself as opposed to you walking with 5 people, people look like, who's that? Because there's a lot of them and they're doing something, you know. If you know, solidarity, those terms, you know. So don't, you know, the time has passed for those opportunities, but, you know, I'm still breathing, knock on wood. And, you know, I hope that there's some other opportunities to do some cool shit in a group dynamic because, for one, it's a lot less work. You know, I'm usually writing, you know, 216, 220 bar verses, got to come up with a hook, you know, for 15 songs. So just think about cutting that into a third. I love doing groups. You know, the hard part is dealing with the personalities and the agendas of management and all these other people is why it's hard to do a group. I personally, you know, I tend to be I'm a good chief because I'm a good engine. And so you know, I can follow direction. It's just hard to find other people that are willing to see it through. That's why I'm, you know, I'm super, you know, super impressed by what, you know, what Crooked Eye and Buttons and Joel and Royce pulled off. They pulled off how to, you know, with management and say fuck all that to see this thing through. And you know, they pulled off what 2 or 3 albums, man. And then from there they could expand and go do. It made them that much stronger with that much of a nest egg to transition into the next stage of whatever they wanted to do. But it wouldn't have been, you know, they were stronger. And I say the same thing about with the Horsemen. At that particular time, with the resources we had, we were stronger together than we were separately. You know, it's just like how people make rope. You take whole bunches of little individual twines and you braid them together, and it becomes that much more tensile. And that's what we were trying to do. We didn't pull it off. And salute to them, salute to Slaughterhouse for actually doing it, and they proved that it was a great idea.
Word. So as a student of the game, I'm a dude from Jersey, right? So in Jersey, we're not New York. So a lot of the stuff that we came out of New York and we didn't get our chance to have our voices heard, we kind of bitter towards that. We look towards Cali a certain way, and we see Cali. We love Cali, and we didn't get caught up in a lot of New York stuff. Not to diss New York, because I'm not. But we always had our own identity. We had Naughty by Nature, Tretch and Pop, Cruddy Click. You know what I'm saying? Rotten Rascals went out there. Redman went out there. You know what I'm saying? And he was the funk doctor. He used the Parliament joints, which was big in the West Coast and everything.
Oh, yeah.
For a cat from Jersey, how would you describe California or West Coast hip hop culture to me? Through your eyes.
I think Jersey dudes are very similar. I always say, for some strange reason to it, I think Brooklyn, Jersey, Detroit, and LA dudes are very similar personality types. Even some of the sense of humor, everything, just very interesting niggas. Like, I don't know, like I don't know what boat drove through those states and just dropped off related niggas, but they're very similar personality types. I mean, you know,
if I told, I mean, the only thing I would tell her, like a Jersey niggas tend to thrive on the West Coast. You know, the Jersey niggas is kind of grimy, but they're not dumb. They seem to be very smart. Gang niggas, I know Tretch and the whole Inglewood, so they already have that connect. Yeah, you know, especially, you know, the Red Man with the funk shit, he definitely came out here and niggas was, you know, niggas, being a young dude and remembering Red Man, we were just like, he's crazy, he's super dope. And then he's so animated. Shouts out to him, he got the new record, Smack the Shit Out You, which
is a classic.
Amazing, man. He's awesome. So, you know, I would tell a Jersey nigga, you know, this is the second home for a Jersey nigga.
Word. Well, I got 2 more questions, and then we're going to close out. So here we go. Here's a question that I always ask people about collabing. You've collabed with some serious heavyweights, from KRS-One, Slick Jackin', you got RP, Sean Price. You have so many collabs, so many projects. Like, shout out to you for the Christmas joints. I like them too. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to your collabing, is there anybody you ever wish you did a song with that you haven't?
I reach out to people based on a record. You know, if I hear something, I'm like, yo, so and so would sound dope on this. I've reached out to certain people, and for whatever reason they couldn't, or you know, weren't interested. And you know, that's that. Me personally, because I'm a fan of the record, and I probably got that from being around Dr. Dre, the fan of the record, of what the record can be, because everybody's voice is different, and their timing's going to be different. Their approach and what they hear is going to be different. Their genre might be different. And so I'm interested in making the record's wave file look different. I know what I'm going to sound like on the record, but when, you know, whoever, if Morgan Freeman says this part right here, that the wave file change, because he's going to say this. And then if I can get this violinist to do this right here, and then if I could get Redman to do the second verse, and then, you know, so I'm a fan of that all those things create an experience. So with that being said, I'm a fan of just dope people, period, and I'm always interested in collabing with talented people, period. There's nobody specifically that I would want to collab with. It would just depend on the record and making the illest record possible. Like, I feel like every record can be epic and classic. It may not be the hit single again that we were talking about. Mm-hmm. So you can't make something timeless, you know. When you have all the resources together, you know, a perfect example was I'm trying to think of Dre's good at them, you know, because he's got all the resources. But you know, Dre, like, you know, when he did Stan's an incredible record, and you hear the writing in there. You know, who came up with that? It's just those things that make it an experience. Like, you hear somebody writing on the paper while dude's rhyming.
Yeah, that was sick. That was a great like undertone to the beat that made it come alive.
Right. That's talking about making these themes. It becomes bigger than just a rap record. It's creating that entire vibe and you know, that scene in the movie. So, you know, it's those things. To answer your question, everybody. I'd like to work with everybody.
You're the LeBron James of hip hop. I got you.
Yeah, I mean, for the record, man, if it'll make the record doper and iller, I don't like niggas on records just for no reason. But if it's the right person, the right vibe for where I'm trying to go with a record, you know, I'm very happy about Solo Nights 2. The people I heard on those records are the people that got on the record. I heard Kilo on that record. I heard Snoop on that record. Was I prepared to do the record without Snoop and CeeLo? Yeah, I have to, because the niggas is busy and multi-platinum, multi-million-dollar niggas. Do I want them to do this shit? Yes. Do they have to? No. So I'm very grateful to them for seeing my vision and saying, I see exactly where you want me to plug in. I'm gonna get busy. And then the record goes up. The record's a bigger record, the dynamic, the waveform. Not just on some groupie shit to say I got Snoop Dogg on the record, but to say that's what I heard in my head. I heard Snoop getting busy, and the nigga really busy on it, and he did the hook, and the record sounds that way. So I'm proud of the record. Shit. Again, I wish those same power structures would promote and play my record. My record is just as viable as every other little, half these niggas don't even rap on beat. You can play my record and support that record. But, hopefully we'll get to that point soon. That's the goal. But at least I know the record is a strong record, and the record is dope. It's something that they ain't got to be ashamed of saying, oh, I did this song with Ras.
Well, here's the key to your TX success. We don't need terrestrial radio anymore, and everybody got a podcast. You blessed me, and you got a lot of people who doing internet radio. You need just go to them, and they'll play your record. And if
support the records, man, it's a whole brand new project, Solo Night too. So
and we loving it out here. So believe it, we good over here. You know what I'm saying? So with this is the last question, and I ask this to every artist that comes on Heritage Hip Hop, because as I said, I worked in a school, and one thing that I wanted to implore all my students, life is bigger than the classroom, and everything that you do affects the world. So don't think you can selfishly live your life and not have an effect on people near you or another world away. You've seen hip hop in the States. You've seen hip-hop overseas. I've even heard some of your style and some of your influences in other lyricists like Elzai. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I'm not going to drop too many names. Let's just say that you put your brick in, and in the foundation of hip-hop, you're definitely cemented, whether people want to acknowledge you or not. Fuck them. It's official, and it's very apparent. What is the legacy that you want to leave in the world, that in the year 5000, when they unearth your catalog, you did hip-hop and made the world better? What is the legacy that made the world better because you existed and you did hip-hop?
Because I ask people to think. I mean, hopefully that'll be, like this is somebody that, fought against just being popular, didn't just say, it took the harder route, that had integrity about being honest, whether it was honest about himself, honesty about the social system, honesty about, where hip hop was. So that's what I would like to leave, like one of the few true artists, that I was truly being an artist and being not a prophet, but just being somebody that was informed and trying to give people information.
Word. And that is the key to life, man. Knowledge, understanding, you know what I'm saying? Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's what makes a man, and it makes legacies and foundations grow timelessly. So with that said, drop your social media, drop any projects you want people to look for, and let's do what we got to do.
Yeah. Well, thanks to Heritage Hip Hop, and everybody, you guys can find me at RAS_KASS. That's pretty much all social media, but specifically the gram, and we can go from there. And the new album is out. It's on all platforms, so on Ice too. There it is there.
Yeah, I still got to get that book, man. I ain't get my copy yet. You know what I'm saying? I got to get that. So with that being said, everybody, thank you for listening to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. You are a fly on the wall to one of the dopest conversations we've ever had. So to everyone out there, we say peace, and we out.
Thank you for listening to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. We ask that you go support this legendary MC by getting his album Soul on Ice 2. Streaming is good, but purchasing is better. Do you own your hip hop? Make sure you do. And if you love lyrics, make sure you pick up the book Soul on Ice 2. Once again, this is Karev signing out on Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. Stay tuned to Heritage Hip Hop to see more and to get more insightful interviews. You can follow us at www.heritagehiphop.com, and you can follow our interviews on YouTube on the page Heritage Hip Hop. If you're looking to buy apparel and you want to support us there, our store is on www.storefrontier.com/Heritage Hip Hop. And if you would like to donate to the cause, you can Cash App us at $KAREVYAH. That's $Karevia. Once again, we thank you for tuning in and giving us some of your time. We have the Mic Council coming, a round table of MCs talking about today's topics. In this month of Black History Month, we talk about how to celebrate Black History Month, and we also have an episode about defining greatness, Kobe Bryant versus Eminem. Rest in peace to Kobe, Gianna, and everybody who lost their lives in the tragedy, and may the Most High bless everybody who's been affected by it. Once again, this is Karev signing off. We say peace, and we out.